Hey, how you doing? Okay, guess what we're going to do today? Bus mixing! The fader on the bus goes up and down, up and down, up and down. The fader on the bus goes up and down all day long. So here I am at the bus section and I'm starting with the kick bus. And I always use the same plugin, so I just made presets for everything. For the kick I'm just using an API 2500 and of course the cleaning EQ. And I just repeat the steps that I did before. I match the input signal with the output signal and then I attenuate a little bit. And usually I just take off 1 decibel because there's not a lot going on here and it's more for the sound in this case. And because the emulator is adding noise, I'm using the cleaning EQ to clean it up a little bit. And for the plugins I'm doing the same. Usually for all the drums I always use the API 2500. It already proved itself that it's good on drums, so I'm not going to waste any more time looking for other plugins and other compressors. I always stick with this one. So here I noticed I made a mistake. Usually I treat the drums differently than the percussions. And you might think, yo, that's the same. Well, not to me. To me the percussions are like the bass beat, like the tsk-ats, tsk-ats. Those kind of percussions, and the drums I call like the build-up snare, the tak 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 tak, pow pow. You know, they both need different kind of treatment. That's why I separate them. So I sent the loop with the basic beat, the tsk-ats, tsk-ats, to the drums bus, and that was a mistake. So that's what I'm correcting right now. So now that I corrected my mistake, the percussions are going to the correct bus, and now I'm just checking the compressor to see if I can get a good sound out of it. And here with the compressor I don't want to attenuate too much. I just want to keep everything in line. And here once again, just to be sure that my sounds are isolated and no noise or rumble is coming through, I'm using the cleaning EQ to isolate my sounds. So just in case there are some low frequencies sneaking by the equalizer, I just slap an imager on it just to make sure that whatever sneaks by is in mono. And now the percussion 2 bus or the drums bus gets the same plugins, only with different settings. So as you can hear, the build-up snare is louder than the other percussions. So if I would route the build-up snare to the same bus as the other ones, the compressor would react to the build-up snare and not to the other percussions. So that's why I separate them. So now I'm checking the other percussions and other fills that are routed to this bus if they have the same frequency range for the cleaning EQ. You want to play? No, mine. And also for the lead and the synth bus, yes, I separate those two as well. I have a preset and usually I use the CLA3A for the compression. And with the CLA3A, I do the same thing. I match the input volume with the output volume and then I attenuate 1 decibel. And the reason for that 1 decibel is that I don't want to do too much to the signal. I just want to keep the levels in check. So let's say there's a part in the mix where the lead is playing at minus 12 decibels. So it's hitting the compressor at minus 12 decibels. So the compressor is just attenuating 1 decibel for that minus 12 decibels. Now let's say that there is a part in the mix where there are 2 leads playing at the same time at minus 12 decibels. That means that the signal is not hitting the compressor anymore at minus 12 decibels. It's way louder. So that's why I'm using the compressor to attenuate that extra volume so that the output volume stays relatively the same. And here also I'm using my cleaning preset to clean up the signal. And also on the lead bus I'm using the imager to check if there are no phasing issues. And if there are phasing issues, I just go back to the mix, to the instrument that is creating those issues and correct the problem at the source. So you must be wondering, why am I skipping the sub and the bass bus? The reason for that is the sidechain. Let's say this is the higher part of the bass and this is the lower part of the bass when I add a sidechain. So the bass is doing this, right? Every time it's down, the kick comes through, and when it's up, you hear the bass better. But what happens if I add a compressor? Then the bass is going to do this instead of the whole range, right? So that's why. And here on the FX bus, I don't do any processing, just a little bit of cleaning EQ. And here on the total vocal bus, I give it the same treatment as the lead bus. Just a CLA3A for the levels and a little bit of cleaning up. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Next time I'm going to add some effects, so I hope to see you there. Until that time, peace out! Here comes the drop.